will start the session. So our subject is data structures using C++. Already in previous semester, you know how to write the program in the C++. Now we are going to see the data structures. We are seeing here introduction to data structures. What is a data structure, and how to what are the data structures are there, what are the types of data structures are there, and how to write the programs in that, how to write the pseudocode for that. Those things we are going to see before entering into the subject. We will see the what is the syllabus we are going to discuss. See, this is the syllabus for you in Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3, Unit 4. In Unit 1, we are going to discuss fundamental concepts. There is introduction to data structures, types of data structures, and introduction to algorithm, pseudocode, flowchart, and analysis of algorithms. These are the fundamentals. It is the first part. In the second part, we are going to discuss about the linear data structures using arrays. In this one-dimensional array, two-dimensional arrays, n-dimensional arrays, and memory representation of arrays and their address calculations, then concept of the ordered list, string manipulations, and pros and cons. The next one is the stacks. In the stacks, how to create a stack, how to perform operations on that stack, that we are going to discuss in this first chapter. Okay. So this first we will see this first chapter, and first of all we need to know what is a data. What is a data? So here data means something raw facts. For example, we know that 10, 9, 8, 7. I wrote here. So these numbers, these just what are these? If I ask, just answer is the numbers. We don't know what they are not giving any knowledge for us. We are organizing like this. So while we are organizing, we can give, if you add more thing for this. For example, these are the rupees. Now we are getting a complete information. So this is known as a information. If you are not writing this, we can call this complete is a data. So what is a structure? Structure means a architecture or a plan to store this data or to process this data. So we are going to perform some planning on this data, and we are going to perform some operations on that data by using these data structures. So in these data structures, so see the definition here. Data structure means it is a representation of a logical relationship existing between individual elements of the data. Means here individual elements nothing but is that the raw facts. Individual elements of data means raw facts. So between these raw facts, we are going to make some relation, logical relation. Then these type of logical relation we can call as a data structure. For example, just we write here this 10, 9, 8, 7. We wrote here. We are making this as a information by preparing here one more column, that is rupee. I wrote here rupee. When we are writing this, we are understanding this 10, 9, 8, 7. All these are the rupees, 10 rupees, 9 rupees, 8 rupees, 7 rupees. That means this is my plan to prepare this. This is completely known as a data structure. See, this is completely. Data structure is a way of organizing, a way of preparing the data for all the items that consider not only the elements stored, but also their relationship with each other. Means here in a data structure, what we are going to do, we are organizing the data and we are preparing the some relationship between that data. Okay, this is the data structure. So once again we see what is the data structure. Data structure is a preparing some logical relationship between the data. Okay, now data structure means preparing some relationship between that data, okay, and organizing that data, whatever we are storing in the memory. Yeah, this subject, this is we are going to see here. Yeah, the next one, data structure. Why we should that prepare that data structures? We can store the data in individual memory locations, or by preparing some structure of that memory also. Here see here, data structure affects the design of both structural and functional aspects. And that means here we are preparing the data structure means that complete data what we are storing and its functional performance will be affected. So our final intention is to create a program. So we are learning some programming languages, means we are writing some programs. So what is that program means? There must be an algorithm and a data structure. Data structure means how to organize that data in the memory, and how to structure that data in the memory. Then next one is the algorithm. The algorithm means it is a step-by-step process. That means how we are writing a program. So this combination of this algorithm, the step-by-step procedure, and also how you are organizing the data in the memory. So these two combinations will become as a program that we can call as a language, C language or C++ or Java or anything. This is. So how those programs will come means, first we have to know the algorithm, the step-by-step process, with including the how to organize the data, or how you want to store that data, that we have to know. So here that is algorithm means it is a step-by-step process. So in the right, see the same definition also here we are displaying. Algorithm is a set of instructions. So here what is an algorithm? That definition of the algorithm. Here algorithm is a set of instructions written to carry out certain tasks. The data structure is the way of organizing the data. So what is the difference between algorithm and data structure? Algorithm is a set of instructions written to carry out some task. Means it is a step-by-step process. Whatever we are writing, those instructions must be in the step-by-step. Those instructions will help us to solve the problem. But here data structure means how to organize or how to save the data in the memory. That means here data structure prepares the logical relationship. Here logical relationship, I think you are understanding what it is. Logical relationship means just we wrote here. So this 10 and 9, what is the relation between these? Means all these are the rupees, like that. Yeah, then next here what are the types of data structures we have? We have two types of data structures: primitive data structure and non-primitive data structures. Already we know in C language int, float, double, and boolean, like this. These are the primitive type of data structures. That means integer values we are taking, how those integer values are stored, and float values we are taking, how that float values are storing. That is a primitive data structures. The next one, non-primitive data structure. Non-primitive data structure is nothing but arrays, list. So these linked list. So we will see in further these non-primitive data structures. Here in our syllabus also we have these non-primitive data structures and how to perform the operations on this non-primitive data structure. In primitive data structures, nothing but we are writing a simple programs already we know in the C++. This is data structures are two types: primitive data structures, non-primitive data structures. These non-primitive data structures. There are primitive data structures and non-primitive data structures. Primitive data structures are integers, float, character, and pointers. Non-primitive data structures are linear list and a non-linear list. See, in our complete syllabus, we are going to discuss the non-primitive data structures only. And they say linear list. That means a linear data structures, non-linear list, non-linear data structures. Here, array and a linked list, stack, queue, all these data structures are linear data structures. The examples of linear data structures: arrays, linked list, stacks, and queues. In array, linked list, all these linear data structures store the elements in a sequential order. And non-linear data structures are graph and trees. These cannot follow in a sequential order. Okay, this is the first one is the arrays. We will see one by one these in our complete syllabus. We are going to discuss here arrays, linked list, stack, queues, graphs, and trees. These things also we have. These are the data structures, so we are going to learn. So first we will see complete what is a primitive data structure. So say here complete definitions we have. The basic structures and directly operated upon by the machine instructions. That means the primitive data structures are completely belongs to the machine instructions. Nothing but we are writing a int a, comma b, or float, or character, like that. All these are the we are not organizing already in the language. Whatever the language we are using, in that they are organizing. So those are the primitive type of data structures. So the examples are integers, floating point numbers, character constants. All these primitive type of data structures can store only single value. They can store only single value. Non-primitive data structures, these are derived from the primitive data structure. So that means the non-primitive data structures will come from the primitive data structures. That means if you want to store integer values, it is not a single value. Here in these non-primitive data structures, we can store more number of values in a single variable, like that. That means all these more number of values can be organized in a way. And these are the non-primitive data structures. That means the non-primitive data structure we are organizing means, so we are working with the primitive data structures only. That means we are taking integer values, 10 integer values, 20 integer values, or floating values, character sequence of characters, name contains more number of characters, all these things. So these are the non-primitive data structures, even though they are working on the primitive data structures only. Yeah, this is the about the non-primitive data structures. Here the non-primitive data structure examples already we saw this: arrays, list, stack, queue, and tree. Graph are examples of non-primitive data structures. Okay. Yeah, why we use these data structures means we are going to perform some operations on that. So we see this. So what are the operations we are going to perform means here? Create means, so we have to create that data structure. We are creating array, we are creating linked list, we are creating a tree, we are creating a graph. This is the next one is a selection. And whenever we are creating an array, in that it contains some elements or some data, we want to select that data. We want to get that data. So for that purpose, we have to select. The selection operation must be performed. Updating, I want to change the data, whatever in that. I want to change the data. Right. Yeah, the next one is searching. We want to search the element, sorting, ascending order or descending order, or any other like that. The next one is a merging. You want to merge one array, two arrays into a single array, like that. Destroy or delete, you want to delete the elements. These are the operations: creating, selecting, updating, searching, sorting, and merging, and destroying. These are the operations we have to perform on the data structures. In our today class, what we are discussed, the first one is what is a data. What is a data? Data means it is a raw facts. Raw facts that we know. Raw facts nothing but example. Example is something we write uh, 10, 20, 30, 40, these. So what are these if you call? That is raw facts, that's all. So we don't know. It is not giving any new knowledge for us. So information. Next we know about information. What is the information means? So cost. Cost is, or cost, we write here 10, 20, 30. So what is this? These are the cost. So we are understanding here very easily. Okay, next we talked about the data structures. So what is the data structure? So it is a logical representation between data. Logical representation between data. So next one, now we discussed the type of data structures. Type of data structures. So primitive, we discussed number one is a primitive, non-primitive data structures. Okay. First, primitive data structures. Yeah, these are the integer values and the float values, characters, pointers, etc. So these are the primitive values. Yeah, the next one is a non-primitive type. This non-primitive type is first list arrays. First linear data structure and non-linear. In that first one is a linear data structures. In these linear data structures, we know arrays, linked list, stack, queues, etc. Yeah, the next one is a non-linear. In these non-linear data structures, these and the graphs. So these things only we discussed here. Okay. Now we can start about the arrays. Before that, we discussed about more thing is algorithm. What is an algorithm? So algorithm means it is a step-by-step process. And we can say it is a set of instructions to solve a problem. Set of instructions to solve a problem. These are the things we discussed. Now this algorithm, we have to know about this algorithm first. So for example, what is an algorithm means we need to write a algorithm for to add two numbers. For example, we will see to add two numbers. I want to write the algorithm for to add two numbers. See here, this step-by-step process or set of instructions to solve a problem. Means here, what is the problem here? To adding two numbers. So So how to write the algorithm for to add two numbers? The first one is a first step. We will see step by step. Step one, start. Next, step two, step two. So how to write a means we have to take first two numbers. We are writing here. Take two numbers. Take two numbers. Step three. Step three. The next in step 3 just we say store them in two variables such as a comma b. Yeah, next step 4. Step 4, add them. Add, otherwise we write a comma b. Add a comma b and store store in c. Store in c. Yeah, the next step we want the answer. Step 5, print or show or write whatever we can write. Print c. The next step 5, step 6. Hello. So this is the step 1, step 2. Like that we are writing an algorithm. So this is the algorithm contains a step by step process to solve a problem. That means whatever the values, two values you want to take, you can take. But if you follow these things, then you can solve that problem. We are giving some these instructions to the computer. See, start the computer. Hey computer, take two numbers. Yeah, then next store them into variables or into the memory. The variables nothing but into the memory. Store them and then add that a and b and store in c. Then next print that c value. Then stop that problem. So these are the instructions we are giving to the computer to solve this problem. See, these things we can write in another way. This is same algorithm we can write in another way. See how we can write. The first one is a first step, start. Start is the same thing. Start. Just I can write in another way. See, the next one, take two numbers. Take a comma b. Take two numbers means take a comma b. The next one we write c is equal a plus b. C is equal to a plus b. That means we are understanding very easily. C, we are adding that a plus b and storing in c. The result will be stored in c. The next thing we write here, print c. Print c or write c or display c. Whatever you can write. Display c. So these things, what we are doing here means this completely we can call as a pseudocode. Pseudocode nothing but in a mathematical expressions. We are taking mathematical expressions and we are writing this complete algorithm in that way. This is known as a pseudocode. So this pseudocode nothing but is also algorithm, but it contains the less instruction set. Completely it shows in a mathematical expressions. So this is so okay. So this is how to write an algorithm and how to write a pseudocode visa. So if you want to practice, you can do one thing. You try to write the algorithm. You try to write the algorithm for to find a biggest number. To find the biggest number from given two numbers. From given two numbers. Okay, how we can write first we can write a step-by-step thing, then we will go for the pseudocode. See, first one is a step 1. Step 1, start. Next, step 2. Step 2. Take two numbers. We need two numbers. So take two numbers. Next, step 3. Step 3. Store in two variables. Store in two variables such as a comma b. Then next, step 4. Step 4. Then compare a b. Step 5. Step 5. If a is big, if a is a big, in the same step we write print a. If a is a big, then print a. Next, step 6. Otherwise print b. That's all. The next, step 7. Stop. So how to write the pseudocode for this? The first thing is start. No need to write. Take two numbers. Take a comma b. That's all. Very simple. Yeah. The next one is store them in two variables. Nothing but the take a comma b means those are the variables. So we are taking that. Then compare a comma b. So while comparing, we have to check whether a is greater than b or not. That means we write here if a greater than b. If a greater than b, that means here a is greater than b or not. If yes, then here we write if a greater than b, then write a, else b. That's all. This is small thing. Here we are writing in 3 lines pseudocode, but algorithm will be the like this. So algorithm will be complete descriptive way. It contains some more information in this. Pseudocode will be in the mathematical description. So I can give some small thing for your purpose while we are going to wind up. So this is for your assignment for today class. Then that is first right algorithm. Write an algorithm to find biggest number from three numbers. Then second one is write an algorithm to check whether given number is even or odd. Okay, these are the two things I am giving to you. We can stop today's class. Thank you everyone. So whenever you are entering into the class, please mute your video and audio. Okay, na? So stop your video and stop your audio also, both. Thank you. Today class end up. We will see in the next class. We will see in the